Welcome everyone. So I've got to know a little bit about you, a bit about me. So myself, I come from a freshwater ecology background, so I'm really interested in protecting Earth's life support systems in the form of fresh water, a very critical resource. I've worked in consultancy, I've worked in government to protect some of our most important catchments in Australia, and now I work with a range of United Nations agencies around climate change, around sustainability education, and around empowerment of youth leaders like yourself. So I am excited to be here in a room of people who are interested in changing the world. It's always a great pleasure to be in that space. So thanks for your time today, and I hope our session's going to be useful. So I should also say I'm the Director of the Master of Environment Sustainability, and today's session is really just to give you that overview, an opportunity to overview the course and all its options, and to really start to give you the structure of the program so you can get some insight into how you can really tailor it to you and the type of strategic leadership role you want to go into. All right. Okay, so who is this course for? As you can see from the diversity in this room, this course is for anyone who is future focused and wants to become a strategic leader who can transform society through creating solutions. Not doing things the way we've always done them, but doing things in a fresh new way. It is for students from all disciplines because the multifaceted issues of our time, like climate resilience, like inequality, they take more than one discipline, one sector, one country. You need to be integrated, and so we really want to set up work where you're intersectional in the course and ready to be intersectional beyond the course. It is a course for people who are professionals through to people who are just perhaps finishing their undergraduate degree and want to add a layer of skills onto their portfolio. And it's a course that's squarely focused on giving you a suite of skills that's going to help you lead down the track in your future, whether you want to work in sustainability in business, in government, the UN, NGOs, or beyond. So a little bit about why this course came about. So this course came about because a group of industry, government, and research individuals came together and realised that we needed to provide training for future leaders. And all of us have noticed, and I've personally noticed when I'm at the UN or I'm speaking to employers in government, industry, consultancy or research, that interdisciplinarity is in demand. So, we do, as I mentioned before, we do need those people who have a broader view on issues and can really connect the dots and create those complex teams. So they're the types of individuals, but also the types of organisations that are really doing the important work, particularly at the United Nations. All right. So why is this course so important? Well, if you're in the room right now, we're in a period of accelerating global economic, environmental and social change. The rate of change is only going to increase. It's going to affect all sectors of society. And there's an appreciation now across government, industry, consultancy that we need to do things differently. So we need innovators like yourself to use their prior experience and disciplinary expertise and layer upon that something more in the sustainability space. The course essentially sets you up to become a T-shaped professional. So you have deep expertise in one area of sustainability, one of our 5 specialisations, plus the horizontal bar on the T, which is this ability to work across, as I said, sectors, countries and cultures to really grapple with complex issues we're talking about here, which is really about dealing with complexity. For the reason that we build those interdisciplinary skills and the specialisations we offer, the course was actually awarded a National Sustainability Award last year. Part of that award was also our focus on SDG 17, which you can see on my screen, which is partnerships for the goals. So we very much partner with industry, with government, with different disciplines in the work that we do. So next, I'm just going to run through some of the features of the course that I thought you might be interested in. First of all, we're really proud that we have a really diverse mini UN cohort, which is really exciting. We're also really proud of our industry, NGO and government partnerships. So you'll be working on projects from those areas in the course. And of course, you know, our internships and work integrated learning opportunities. We're also, we also think that a feature of the course is that it's not strongly siloed in terms of, we actually cover all 17 SDGs within the program. And we have some specializations that cannot be found in other, you know, sustainability degrees. So some really innovative features of the course. Some other reasons that I love the course and our students, you know, really love the course is, I'm going to start off with our cohort. It's amazing. So we have an amazing group of people. We're all interested in sustainability, whether we want to work in a corporation, whether we want to work, you know, in an activist group, whether we want to work in communications, but we're like-minded, we're passionate, and we're all pulling in the same direction and learning from each other. We're diverse in many, many ways. So we have 50 to 50 equal balance of domestic and international students. Across the cohort, we have 45 different countries represented. So it is quite like a mini UN some days. We have students from all different disciplines, and that's extremely valuable for the reasons I've given before. And we have a mixture of professional experience. So a third of students are straight out of undergraduate. They know they want to work in sustainability. They want to explore the different sectors. A third have, you know, 5 to 30 years experience in the sustainability sector. So we have students who currently work for government, who currently work for corporations in the sustainability space. And then a third have sort of 2 to 5 years of professional experience or a previous master's, but in another area, not sustainability, and they're ready to move in a new direction towards more meaningful work and change their career. So really beautiful mix. And what you've got there is a global network of people you're going to work with in the future, and you know who you can learn a lot from. So we're really excited to provide a flexible course that's going to suit people who are wanting to upskill, who are wanting to build skills to take that next move up in their current employment as a sustainability strategist, people who want to move careers, perhaps they've come from science but they want to move into sustainability policy, and people who just want to test out the field of sustainability and find their area in it. Something else that's really exciting about the course is when you're choosing the program, you're not just working with, you know, a small suite of experts. You'll actually be taught by the sustainability experts across the entire university, from the Monash Sustainable Development Institute to science, to arts, to business economics, to law and engineering and beyond. And the program's co-developed across those areas, so it is multifaceted and it is cohesive. And of course, you know, you will also be taught by our external partners, which includes UN groups, Sustainable Development Solutions Network, EPA, government, a whole range of other areas. So you tapped into a really beautiful network. Something else that students really like about the program is our experiential capstones. So we believe that as you move through the course, you should be applying tools to real problems, and you'll be doing that all the way through. But at the very end of the program, the experience you'll be having is to work with external groups on a real problem for society, and really you'll be leading that. And we know students have different career goals, so we have 4 different options to choose from. So you can do a research thesis as a pathway to a PhD in any area you want. You know, sort of, we've had students doing medical areas, policy areas, communications, all the sciences, you know, UN related. If you're more interested in building consultancy skills, you can take that unit, and that's a fantastic opportunity to go through the consultancy project. You'll be dealing with a real client. We have, you know, corporate clients, UN clients, NGO clients, and you'll be assisted through the consultancy process to build skills to be a consultant. We also offer internships, so you can work on real problems in workplaces and really immerse yourself in a network. And then we have smaller projects where you can define an area that you want to do an analysis of, you know, similar to a consultancy or government report, and we match you with people who are going to help you in that space. So in all of these experiences, you're going to be working with amazing partners, and These are just some of the groups that are involved in the program, and different partners will be useful for different types of student goals. And we take it really seriously that we want to help you as you go through the program, really choose the units that suit your passions and where you'd like to go with things. All right, so we're definitely gonna have questions coming up soon, but I thought I'd just take another moment of your time to run through the course structure. So I'm going to show a simplified version, and then I'm going to give some examples of how you can really tailor the course to you and your goals. So here is the simplified 2-year program, and essentially the program is built of 4 24 credit point parts. So part A is your interdisciplinary foundation. That allows you to work across all the different areas. It gives you an introduction to all our 5 specialisations, which I'll talk about soon. And it puts the horizontal bar on your T-shaped professional. So you're going to get an idea of the constraints, the language, the regulations of big corporations, government, intergovernmental, science, and a toolkit to help you be evidence-based in your decision-making in those spaces. You're also going to meet all of your cohort, get to meet all your educators, and get advice on specialisations and capstones. From there, you're going to specialise in one of our 5 specialisations. And if you're moving into a brand new field, for example, if you're moving from research science into policy, you can do Part B preparation to get ready for that new jump. But if you've got a background that suits your specialisation, you can get credit to skip Part B. So Part C is your expert specialisation of choice. We have corporate sustainability, governance and policy, environmental security and science, international development, and leadership and behaviour change, all hugely important areas of sustainability. And then, as I mentioned, you're going to actually apply everything to a real world problem via research, an internship, a consultancy project, or a different sort of project. So that's the 2-year course. Now, as I mentioned, some of you may actually have what we call a cognate background, or a background that's relevant to your specialisation of choice. So you might be eligible to take a 72 credit point degree. So you skip that Part B, and here's just an example of what that would look like. Here we've got our 2 Part A interdisciplinary units. This student is taking the environmental security specialisation, and they've chosen an internship, perhaps in government, perhaps in consultancy, in their final year. What you'll notice here is you actually have elective places where you can take units from complementary specialisations. So this particular student, whilst interested in environmental security and science, is layering on with particular skills. In this case, leadership skills, corporate skills, and geographic information systems. And we actually help you all the way through the course decide which units to take that are going to kind of expand your skill set relevant to where you want to go. So here are just a few more examples to give you a feel. So let's imagine Jack is a business student. He's from a business background, and he wants to move into more field-based, science-based consultant work. We've recommended he take the environmental security specialisation shown in green, and a consultancy project with the Environmental Protection Authority in his final year. And we think geographic information system skills are really important for consultants. We've recommended that. And a bit of knowledge of policy and governance will help him too. We also want him to, build his skills as a leader. So that might be one example. Here's Sally. Sally has worked at CSIRO as a researcher for a long time, and she wants to make a move into the corporate sector. So just like our previous student, she's taking the Part A interdisciplinary foundation units in pink. Then she's going to move into the leadership specialisation. So she's really interested in moving into government and corporations and making change within organisations, making organisations more sustainable. So there's a real element of human behaviour change and change management in that. She's also interested in becoming an expert in corporate behavioural change, and so we've recommended she take a research thesis to leave the door open for a PhD. And she wants to build in a few more corporate skills. All right. Okay, and here we have Sanjna. Sanjna has an arts background. She owns a small business and she's really interested in honing her corporate and CSR skills. She's taking our corporate specialisation. She wants to know a bit about policy and, you know, how big corporations work. So we're recommending an internship with a bank in this situation. Here we have somebody with an engineering background who wants to be an engineer more in a government situation. He's taking the governance specialisation, an internship, and a field studies unit that is about citizenship and understanding demographics. So I hope that was useful. That's just to show you that we map each course student by student based on what you're interested in, and we meet with you every semester to do that. Up here, I've got the entry requirements for the course, and you'll see there are 3 different entry levels. So if you're interested in the 2-year program, it's 96 points. We've got entry level 2, so that's if your specialisation of choice matches more or less to your undergraduate or your previous masters. You can take a 1.5-year course, so shorter duration, smaller fees as well. And then for those who have quite a bit of professional experience, or maybe they've done a thesis in the past, there's even entry level 3, which is a 1-year duration. So these are just options, and I encourage you to get in contact with me if you'd like to talk about credit options. All right, now I've given you a little bit of a spoiler to our specialisations, but let's introduce them properly. We have 5 specialisations. They are complementary, and you do have elective spots so you can mix and match them. And here they are. So the first one is corporate environmental and sustainability management. So this is a specialisation for people who tend to want to be doing reporting, regulation, or strategic work in corporations, from the very large ones, you know, to corporate style consultancies like PwC and Deloitte, through to people who are small business holders or really interested in B Corps. So in this, you'll learn how to measure and regulate sustainability in the corporate environment. So there are a range of electives associated with this as well, around innovation, lots of industry guests, and it's a really interesting strategic sort of specialisation. The next specialisation is for people who see themselves working at national government, state government, even council or intergovernmental. So this specialisation, some of my students say, look, it was dry in parts, but it's exactly what I do on the job. So this is, how do you write policy? How do you read policy? What type of analysis do you do in government, from EIA to stakeholder surveys? You'll be out in the field talking to citizens. You'll be learning how to analyse information for government roles, and you'll be learning about policy in great depth. So this is about enabling societal and governmental change and, you know, influencing the processes for responsible action. International development and environment. This attracts people who are interested in World Bank roles, UN roles. They want to create local solutions in development contexts, Sri Lanka to Fiji, a whole range of areas around sanitation, education programs, climate resilience, the list goes on. Often you're working hand in hand, with World Bank, with government, with UN, for NGOs, to roll out local to national programs in a participatory mode with local leaders. It's really exciting. You'll be learning about power, politics, development context, and how you actually design the right sorts of programs for the location with the community. So really, really interesting. Environmental security. This specialisation is for people who want to be that technical expert in consultancy, in government, in research, who gets the data and feeds it through into important decision-making processes, either with the CEO or the UN. So that person who understands what is going on and can translate it and communicate it into decision-making for the protection of Earth's life support systems. By the end of this specialisation, you should be able to do a biodiversity assessment of any region or country in the world professionally. You should be able to understand and interpret climate data and how it feeds into UN IPCC processes. You should be able to monitor pollution and water quality and design appropriate monitoring programs, and write up data that's appropriate for a range of work environments. So yes, these units teach you technical skills, but just as much, they teach you how to get that data into the decision-making process as part of your leadership. And speaking of leadership, this is our 5th specialisation, Leadership for Sustainable Development. And this specialisation recognises that sustainability is essentially a people problem. So how do we influence change? It gives you the theory for this, and in each of the units, you'll be designing complex interventions. For example, how do we create a green and equitable public transport system for Victoria? You know, and you'll be getting advice from government, and you'll be using tools to actually build that. The first unit is about different processes you can use to influence change at different scales, from organisations through to the general public. The second unit teaches you skills and interventions for influencing human behaviour. How do we get people to recycle? How do we get them to consume in a different way? And how do we change whole organisations? Because you'll be a leader in an organisation at some point. How do you influence those structures and systems? And the last one is about you and developing you as a leader in your particular type of leadership. You might want to lead from behind. You might be a non-authoritarian leader. It's all about you finding a way to make your impact. All right, so, you know, through all those specializations, you'll be working with a lot of industry guests as well as people in the course. And I should mention, all our researchers in the course, all our educators actually have professional experience as well. So I mentioned before, I've worked with government, I've worked with consultancy, I've worked with UN. Every single other educator has also worked in corporations, B Corps, you know, national programs. And I think that really feeds through into the program. But you'll be getting even more contact with external groups towards the capstone, but also through all the extracurricular programs and tours that we do in the course. And we feel these are really important for helping you feel out what area of sustainability you want to work in, and, you know, growing your network. I'll just mention, you know, some of our alumni. They work in some really exciting places, and I just wanted to put up their words about some of the opportunities they've had in the course. So Thomas Kennett, he did an amazing thesis with government, with soil scientists, with policymakers, and, you know, he says that he developed a wide range of skills and networking opportunities, and really enjoyed those that were outside the coursework as well. So lots of opportunities to meet people in this program. And Stephanie Hall now, who's the Deputy Director of the Climate Change Communications Hub, she had the opportunity to represent the course at the UNFCCC Climate Change Conference in Poland, and to showcase her skills and raise her voice there. So that's just a taste of some of the different opportunities that you do get. Some of the events are student-led, some are industry-led, some are through the capstone programs, and sometimes we'll advertise opportunities like the Climate Change Conference for you to apply to. So do take advantage of those. All right, so that's a bit of a quick run through of some of the features of the course, some of the structures, and I hope I've got across that we want to tailor this program to you,